Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Once again, Masa Tutorials, where mathematics literacy begins. We are still on our NOTE 2022 solutions. So this time around, we are solving from question 21 to 25. So follow me as we solve these questions gradually. So now, question 21. They are saying in an examination, a score of 154 is 44%. What is the maximum score for the examination? In an examination, a score of 154 is 44%. What is the maximum score for the examination? Now, we have percentage here, right? 44%. So now, let's say you wrote a French test or a Spanish test, right? Then you had 33%. So what is the maximum score for that? 33% is what? 100%, right? Yeah, man. So now here, 154. What would be the maximum score for this 154? We do not know. Because this 44, the maximum score is what? 100%. Because it's divided by what? 100. But this 154 will be divided by what? We don't know. So that is what we are going to what? Find here. Right. So now let's see. This 154 is equal to 44%, right? So now, what will be 100%? 100%, which is the maximum, it will be equal to what? X. We don't know. So now, we can use cross product here. So cross product, let's see. So I get 154 times 100, which must be equal to 44 times X. So now what do? We have to divide both sides by what? 44. So here by 44, here also by 44. So I get my X being equal to 154 times 100, then divided by 44, which is 350, which is 350. 350. So which is option B. Option B for board. Option B for board. So it means that 154 is divided by what? 350. 154 is divided by 350. And if you convert that to percentage, if you want to convert that to percentage, that's 154 divided by 350. If you convert that to percentage, you have to get back to what? 44%. We have to get back to 44%. And this time around, they said, what is the maximum score for the examination? So therefore, the maximum score for the examination is 350. Not the maximum score is what? 100. They want the maximum score for this 154, which is what? 350. So this 154 is divided by 350, and this 44 is divided by what? 100. All right, question 22. A boy deposited $160 in a savings account, which paid simple interest at the rate of 5% per annum. After some time, he withdrew all his money at once, which amounted to $178. How many years did his money stay in the account? A boy deposited $160 in a savings account, which paid simple interest at the rate of 5% per annum. After some time, he withdrew all his money at once, which amounted to $178. How many years did his money stay in the bank account or in savings account here? So now here, a boy what? Deposited $160. A boy deposited $160. So now this $160 becomes what? The principal. That's the amount. We can say that the principal refers to what? The amount what? Borrowed or the amount deposited. Right. So we can call it as the principal. We can call it as the principal, which is $160. $160. $160 in a savings account which paid simple interest at the rate of what? 5% per annum. So that's the rate which is 5%. Rates must always be in percentage. After some time, he withdrew all his money at once, which amounted to that. So that would be the total amount. The total amount. So that would be the total amount, which is $178. How many years? So now we are looking for the time here. So we can say that beta. You can see that beta years. So now, how best can we solve this guy? So now, we know that the total amount, which is A, is equal to the principal plus what? The interest here. The total amount is equal to what? The principal plus the interest. Now, we do not know the interest, but we know the amount, then the principal. So we can use that to find for the interest. So now let's see. So my total amount, which is 178, must be equal to my principal 160 plus my interest. So I can write my interest being equal to 178 minus my 160, which means 168. 160 crosses what? The equal sign to become what? Negative. So I get my interest, which is equal to 178 minus 160. I get $18. So this is the interest. They added. So this is the interest they added, which is $18. So now we are looking for how many years, which is the time, so beta years. So now we know that the interest is calculated as the principal times the rate times the time, all on what? 100. By this time around, we want the time, right? So now we can make change of subject, then you make the subject, you can proceed and find for your time. Or this time around, we can just substitute in your figures. So I know my interest, which is 18, equals my principal, which is 160, then times my rate, which is 5, then times my time, which is beta, all divided by 100. So this one cancels, right? So I have my 5 here, 1 into 10, 2. Then 2 here, 1 into 16, we have 8. So I have my 18, which must be equal to my 8 times my 1 times beta is always beta. Divided by 1 is the same thing, right? So now what can we do here? I have 18 divided by 8 equals 8 times what? Beta divided by 8, right? So now, what can we do? What can we do here? So we can, so I said 18 divided by 8 equals what? 8 times beta divided by 8. So this one cancels. So I get my beta being equal to 18 divided by 8. Now, 2 can go here 9 times, 2 can go here 4 times. So we have 9 divided by 4. And 9 divided by 4, 4 goes into 9 how many times? 2 times. Remember what? 1, then divided by what? 4. So I have my beta. My beta is equal to 2 whole number 1 over 4 years. But if you check the possible answer, it is in what? Decimals. It is in decimals. So if it is in decimals, then I'll get my beta being equal to 2.25 years. 2.25 years. So this is how best we can solve this question. So now, question 22, our answer is option what? D. Our answer is option D. Question 22, option D for dog. I didn't say that. Option 22, our answer is D. Option D for dog. So now let's see. Question 23. A closed cylinder. A closed cylinder. Then that means top and down. It is closed. A closed cylinder. A closed cylinder has height 10 centimeters. So that's the height 10 centimeters. And diameter. So we have the diameter here, which is 7 centimeters. The diameter 7 centimeters. Find the total surface area of the cylinder. We have to find for the total surface area of this required cylinder. So now, a typical example of this cylinder is Newton, or we can say Noctin. So that's it. So now, how can we find for our total surface area? Total surface area, we have to find for the area of this circle, then the area of this circle, then the area of the curved surface area. Then we add that to get our total surface area. So the area of these two circles, area of a circle can be what, pi r squared, or you can use 1/4 pi d squared. So pi r squared or 1/4 pi d squared. So area of a circle, we have two areas here, right? So which is two areas, then I can say that 2 times what? 1/4 pi r, 1/4 pi d squared. So I can use that. So I can multiply 2 times 1/4 pi d what? Squared. Because 1/4 pi d squared is one area of a circle, right? So I have two areas, right, of this what? Circle. So I have to multiply that by 2, right? This one cancels. So I get half pi d what? Squared. I have half pi d squared, right? Then so this one is that's my area of a circle, Then I have to get my what? My curved surface area. What's my curved surface area? Which is 2 pi r times what? My h. The curved surface area, which is the circumference times what? The height. So now let's see. So I get 1/2 times my pi is what? 22/7 times the diameter, which is 7 squared, right? So 1/2 times 22/7 times 7 times 7, right? So I have it as half times 22/7 times 7 times 7. This one cancels. 2 here, 1 into 22, 11. So I have 11 times 7. And 11 times 7, you get 77 centimeters squared. 77 centimeters squared. So this one is the area of the circle, the two circles there. Total surface area of these two circles, 77 centimeters squared. So now we have to find for the curved surface area. And the curved surface area is what? 2 pi r h. But this time around, we don't know r. We know what? D. But still, you can use this formula, which means if you want to find for r, you have to divide what? The diameter by what? 2. Or if I don't want to find for r, I can use pi d h, which is the diameter straightforward, then I multiply it by h. So pi d h. So I can use my curved surface area, which is what? 22/7 times my diameter, which is given as 7, times my height, which is 10. So this one cancels, right? So I have my curved surface area, which is 22 times 10, and which gives me 210 centimeters what? Squared. It gives me 220 centimeters squared. 220 centimeters squared. So now I can write this one as they said we should find for the total surface area of the what? Cylinder. Then my formulas which I obtained was what? Half pi d squared, right? Half pi d squared. Then plus my what? My pi d h. So half pi d squared, which is 77, plus my pi d h, which is 220. So now I can say that 77 plus my 220, which gives what? 297 centimeters squared. So that's my answer. So which is option B for boy. Option B for boy. Option B for boy. All right. We have question 24. That's a circle theorem question. This one you can do that in form 2 or form 3. I prefer it to be done in form 3. Form 3. So it will be fresh in your mind to write your final examination. So circle theorem, that's plain geometry 2. Very, very sweet question. So now in the diagram, O is the center of the circle PQR. O is the center, that's a fixed point of the circle PQR. If angle POR is 114 degrees, find angle PQR. It says we should find for angle PQR. So we can denote here as X. We can denote that as X. Now, don't tell me that this one and this one, if I add them, I'll get 180. No. This angle POR is not touching the circumference of the circle. So you cannot say that this plane shape PQRO is a cyclic quadrilateral. No. Because this is not touching the circumference, it choose not to be what? A cyclic quadrilateral. So we have a quadrilateral, but it's not a cyclic quadrilateral. All right. So now I can find for my reflex angle POR. You can choose to find for your reflex angle POR. So I can choose to find for reflex angle POR. So if you want to find for the reflex angle POR, since angles meet at a point other to 360 degrees, so I can say that my reflex angle POR plus this angle POR, they are different. We have angle POR, that's the angle. Then we have reflex angle POR. Reflex angle is an angle whose measure is greater than what? 180 degrees, but less than what? 360 degrees. So don't forget. So that's reflex angle POR plus angle POR must be equal to 360 degrees. So I want my reflex angle POR plus angle POR, which is 114 degrees, equals 360 degrees. So now I want my reflex angle POR to be equal to 360 degrees minus 114 degrees. So reflex angle POR must be equal to 360 degrees minus 114 degrees, which is what? 246 degrees. So here is 246 degrees. 246 degrees. That's the reflex angle POR. Right. Now, if you want to find for X, then you can divide this by 2, then you get your X, which states that what? Twice the angle at the circumference, right? Twice the angle at the circumference is equal to what? The angle at the center, right? So we can say that an arc which subtends an angle at the circumference, right? An arc which subtends an angle at the circumference is twice that. So I can say that twice the angle and arc. So watch here, listen. Twice the angle at the circumference in which an arc subtends must be equal to what? The angle at the center. Are we here? Twice the angle an arc subtends at the circumference is equal to what? The angle at the what? At the center. So twice of this x, so twice of angle PQR must be equal to what? Angle, reflex angle must be equal to reflex angle POR must be equal to reflex angle POR. So 2 times x must be equal to this reflex angle POR. So now I want this x, so I have twice angle PQR is equal to, now reflex angle POR is what? 246 degrees. So what should I do? I divide here by 2, here also by 2. So I get my angle PQR, which is equal to 246 divided by 2. I get 123 degrees. So which is the same thing as my x, which is 123 degrees. 123 degrees, which is option D. Option D. Option D for dog. Option D for dog. Very, very simple. If you want to understand circle theorems properly, kindly learn the circle properties. That's the theorems. Learn it very well and understand it. Right. You get it very, 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 very simple. It's not difficult. Circle theorem made easy. So question 25, that's our last question. Find the value of x at the point of intersection of the graphs of the equations 5x minus 2y minus 14 equals 0 and 3x minus 7y plus 9 equals 0. So how best can we solve for this guys here? Now, this one, we don't have any graph here, right? It is objectives. You will not be given any graph sheet, so you have to solve them simultaneously. Either to use the matrix approach, which is the Cramer's rule, or the inverse approach, or you can use the elimination method or the substitution. Then, if they give you graph, if and only if they give you graph, you can use the graphical method or the graphical approach. When you do higher mathematics, you can also go and use the Gauss-Jordan, or you can use the Gaussian method or the approach to solve for that. That one too is there. So now let's see. I have 5x minus 2y. Now in simultaneous equation, we have to solve these two equations simultaneously. So solving the two equations simultaneously, right? We are solving that at the same time. So I have 5x minus 2y. I have to send this minus 14 to the right hand side so that it becomes a correct simultaneous equation. So equals what? 14. I denote this one as equation 1. Then I have my 3x, then minus 7y. Then I equate that to what? Negative 9. So I get my equation 2. Equation 2. So we have this. So let's see. We can use Cramer's rule. Let's use the Cramer's rule. That's the matrix approach. So using Cramer's, rule. It's the name of a mathematician. So capital C. So using Cramer's rule or Cramer's method. So now then we have to deduce the matrix inside here. So let's deduce the matrix here. So I have, these are the x. So I have 5, 3, then my y, negative 2, negative 7. Then I have to multiply it by what? X, y, which must be equated to what? 14, negative 9. 14, negative 9. So I have this. So 5, 3, negative 2, negative 7. 2 by 2 matrix, 2 by 1 matrix, 2 by 1 matrix. So now I can say that let matrix A be equal to 5, 3, negative 2, negative 7. I'm using the Cramer's approach. Then, if I want to find for x, then it must be what? The determinant of ax must be equal to the determinant of a. Then y2 must be what? The determinant of ay over what? The determinant of a. By this time around, they said we should find for what? Find the value of x at the point of intersection. So the point of intersection, we have this line, what will be the value? So if I have my x, then my y, what will be the value of x? Is it negative? Is it positive 3 or negative 3? What have you? So find for the point of intersection where they meet, what will be the value of x? So this time around, we are not interested in the value of y. We are what? Solely interested in what? The value of x. So now, first of all, we have to find for what? Our determinant of a. So let's calculate for the determinant of a. So the determinant of a, we have 5, 3, negative 2, negative 7. So the determinant of a must be equal to, we get 5 times negative 7 minus 3 times negative 2. So the determinant of a must be equal to negative 35 minus negative 6. So the determinant of a must be equal to negative 35 plus 6. So the determinant of a must be equal to negative 35 plus 6 must be equal to negative 29. Negative 29. So this is the determinant of a. The determinant of a. So now, if we have the determinant of a, what is the next thing to do? We have to find for the determinant of a depending on this x. So now, ax, how can we get our ax? So our ax, now we have to eliminate all these x values from there. We have to eliminate all these x values. Then we substitute in that. So I'll get 14, negative 9, then negative 2, negative 7. Right, then I have to find for the determinant of ax. I have to find for the determinant of ax. So the determinant of ax must be 14 times negative 7 minus negative 9 times negative 2. So the determinant of ax must be equal to 14 times 7, which gives us negative 98. Then minus, here I have it to be positive. Negative times negative is positive what? 18. So the determinant of ax must be equal to negative 98 minus 18. When we add these guys, we are getting negative 116. Negative 116. So I have my determinant of ax, then which is negative 116. Then the determinant of a, which is negative 29. So the value of x should be negative 116 divided by negative 29, which is 4. Which is 4. So it means that our answer is option B. Option B for boy. Option B for boy. Option B for boy. Option B for boy. So they said we should find for the value of x. So this time around, the value of x is what? 4, which is option B. All right. Thank you for ending with us for this tutorial section from 21 to 25, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So that's the first 5 questions. All right, see you in our next video so that we solve 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. We have a lot to do. But with God, all things are possible. Sit down on your buttocks and start learning. Visit my YouTube channel. There are a lot for you to watch, to learn. Massa tutorials where mathematics literacy begins. See you there.